You're listening to Systemic Era Podcast. The failure was designed.
Ex-GOP aide, Trump to blame for black women being terrified by white supremacists, based on an article by Matthew Rasa. Permission structure, not just a photograph. The image is the evidence. A former Bush advisor, Steve Schmidt, looked at a July 4 photo of Patriot Front members clustered around a black woman on a Washington, D.C. bus and said the obvious thing that too many political reporters still dodge: the scene is not an anomaly floating outside politics. Schmidt ties it to Trump's legacy, arguing that Trump exploited old racism, legitimized it, rewarded it, and turned extremism into social permission. That is the right frame. The photo matters because it shows what political permission looks like when it hardens into public life. Power sits higher than the masked men. The people in matching uniforms on the bus are the spectacle. They are not the source of power. The real power sits upstream, in the office, the movement, and the media ecosystem that teaches them they can move through the world as menacing symbols without immediate political cost. Trump did not invent white supremacy. That is the useful life for people who want to turn a system into a personality defect. He normalized it. He translated grievance into identity politics for reactionaries, then handed the culture a flag and a grievance machine. That is not accidental influence. It is political construction. Fascism is not misunderstanding. The source text briefly wanders into a side story about white nationalists losing support, feeling betrayed over Trump's no new wars promise, and being mocked as stupid. That may be true as movement gossip, but it also risks distraction. Fascism is not less dangerous because its adherents are unserious, incoherent, or intellectually corroded. Stupidity is not a safety valve. It is often the form authoritarian politics takes when it no longer needs sophistication to function. The relevant question is not whether Nick Fuentes and his ilk are smart. The relevant question is why their movement has enough cultural oxygen to fight in public while still remaining politically legible. The misdirection is the point. Conservative commentary loves to collapse white nationalism into a subculture problem, a fringe, a psychosis, a bizarre lane of internet illness. That framing flatters the broader right by pretending the sickness is isolated to the loudest idiots. It isn't. The idiots are downstream of a politics that rewards cruelty, licenses racial menace, and treats democratic equal citizenship as negotiable. Calling the movement dumber does not make it harmless. It makes it cheaper to maintain. A movement does not need coherence to do damage. It needs permission, repetition, and a political class willing to normalize the conditions that let it breathe. What the photo actually shows: the woman on the bus is not the story's garnish. She is the moral center because she is the one forced to occupy ordinary public space under extraordinary threat. The men around her are not just extremists in the abstract. They are a test of what American institutions tolerate in daylight. And too often, the answer is enough. The larger pattern. This is the recurring American arrangement. Reactionary politics manufactures fear, dresses it in patriotic language, then sends out its street-level adherents to make the fear visible in public. Later, commentators debate whether the movement is smart, disciplined, or electorally useful, as if those were the metrics that mattered. They are not. The metric is whether democratic life can still protect people from organized racial intimidation. When it cannot, the problem is not the photo. The problem is the political order that made the photo ordinary enough to happen. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternet for today's article. With the automated voice of Sam, thanks for listening.